So my name's Jake Marlin. I'm the lead singer for Jake Marlin and the Reckless. I grew up right down the road in Pryor, Oklahoma, and my band's from all over the place. We got a guy from Sallisaw, Heavener, Fort Smith, and we get to tour from Omaha to Austin playing country music, and it's one of the greatest pleasures of my life. So Walk Away was one that I wrote whenever I was stationed over in Belgium in the Army, and I was listening to a buddy of mine tell a story about how this girl would slide in his DMs once every couple of years. It was a high school sweetheart, and every time he'd think he was loose from her, she'd slip back up again and kind of twist his head up, and sometimes he just wished that she'd let him walk away. And as soon as he said that, I grabbed a pen and paper and and had the first part of it wrote in about 15 minutes and polished it up over the next couple of days.
Some old short skirt to bring me right back to you. And my mind would play tricks on me, and I tell myself I loved you, we were meant to be. So why can't you let me, baby, why you let me walk away? Drowning in that sea of jealousy, and I was just a shadow of the man I was supposed to be. It's time for me to break free and burn this bridge right to the ground with a man's hands of kerosene. So why can't you let me, baby, why can't you let me walk away? It's been 10 years since she left, 6 more since I've even let her name come across my lips. But I saw you today, and I felt that way come crashing down soon as you said the name. So why can't you let me, oh baby, why can't you let me, oh baby, why can't you just let me walk away? Walk away.
So Tory's song's about the drug epidemic that's going on around, most of Oklahoma, methamphetamine and things like that, and how it can really have an effect on families not just the user, but the user's loved ones. And I've had some personal experience, and people that I know have too, and that was just my way of communicating that it doesn't just touch the user, it touches the whole family.
Barefoot and pregnant in a pair of blue jeans. She run out from mama at the age of 18. Her hair's all up, the tangled mess. Her waving goodbye, I'll never forget. And I know my daddy raised me better. Too far from home, I can't stand to see her cry, feeling all alone. But this cocaine pain within me, more than I can lose. Now I'm wild and drunk, I'm lonesome. And I'm thinking of when a baby was born, I couldn't help but cry. 'Cause I was somewhere south of Wagner, just trying to stay high. Now the sirens screaming in the rearview mirror, and I'm on 3 flat tires with a wasted breath. And when they take me, they lay me deep, and I pray my son his soul to give. And I know my daddy raised me better. It's too far from home, I can't stand to see her cry and feeling all alone. But this cocaine pain within me, more than I can lose. Now I'm wild and drunk, I'm lonesome. And I'm thinking of you. And I know my dad, he raised me better than too far from home. And I can't stand to see her crying and feeling all alone. But this cocaine pain within me, more than I can lose. Now I'm wild and drunk, I'm lonesome. And I'm thinking of you. Now I'm wild and drunk, I'm lonesome. And I'm thinking of you.
So Buckles and Spurs was one that me and JT here wrote in my garage. We had played a show the night before, and we're hanging out and getting ready to play a show that night. And George Strait's "I Could Still Make Cheyenne" came on.
Yeah, I had a cool little riff that we were kind of sitting on, and kind of had an idea to kind of play a part 2 to that George song, and we kind of wrote it probably less than an hour sitting in his garage.
Yeah, we just, listening to "I Could Still Make Cheyenne," you get to thinking that It's only half the story. There's a girl sitting home that thinks he's a real so-and-so for being out on the road all the time. So we wanted to write that song for that girl.
Took his call from Reno. She didn't hang up right away. The first "I'm sorry" passed his lips. It's all he had to say. After 7 weeks out on the road, late night calls and he'll soon be home, she realized he'd never be hers. Long as she still has his buckles and his spurs. Buckles, his spurs, and Friday night rides, long neck bottles and Marlboro Lights. She knew she'd never hold him for long. Whether he looks out for her, I just say all she's left with is his last name. A ring on her finger for all that that's worth. No gold buckle and a worn out set of spurs. She's at home holding babies, he's out holding them reins. From a truck stop out in Tulsa to a motel in Spokane. Well, she's quit asking questions, what keeps him running round. Well, she realized he'd never be hers. Long as he still has his buckles and his spurs. Buckles, spurs, and Friday night rides, long neck bottles and Marlboro Lights. She knew she'd never hold him for long. Whether he looks out for her, I should say, all she's left with is his last name. A ring on her finger for all that that's worth. No gold buckle and a worn out set of spurs. Buckles, spurs, and Friday night rides, long neck bottles and Marlboro Lights. She knew she'd never hold him for long. Whether he looks out for her, I just say, all she's left with is his last name. A ring on her finger for all that that's worth. No gold buckle and a worn out set of spurs.
So Left Lane Angel, we actually co-wrote with a buddy of ours, Bryce Dykes. I had wrote the first verse and the first chorus years ago and been sitting on it. And the first time I went on the road and opened for Bryce, down in San Angelo, Texas. We were just driving around San Angelo in the back of his van. He had an old guitar in there, and he's like, play me something you're working on. So I played him that, and we're going to finish this road trip. And we sat there in the back of the van outside of Blaine's Pub in San Angelo, Texas, and finished it, and we've been playing it ever since.
Baby, we're headed out of town. Got the radio rocking and the windows down. No place to go, we don't want to be found. Well, me and my baby, we're headed out of town. I got that left lane angel in my right seat. Got that windshield stars out in front of me. Well, Saturday nights like this are getting hard to beat. I got that left lane angel in my right seat. County Road, Oklahoma sky. I've been waiting all damn week for this windshield time. Suntan legs, baby, my oh my. Slide on over, little darling, don't be shy. I got that left angel in my right seat. Got that windshield stars out in front of me. Well, Saturday nights like this are getting hard to beat. Got that left lane angel in my right seat. Saturday nights like this are getting hard to beat. I got my left lane angel, my right seat. Me and my baby, we're headed out of town.
So a lot of people think that Pray is some deep song that I'm connected with spiritually, and I guess I kind of am, but it really just comes from a place where I really wanted to write a Chris Knight song. One of those songs where, you talk about murder and the consequences, and I got to thinking about that one night sitting in the garage where I do most of my writing, and yeah, Chris Knight's one of my favorite songwriters ever, and I just wanted to write a Chris Knight tune. So I sat down, and one of the things that he's always said about his songwriting is a lot of, developing and younger songwriters think that you have to tell a story from beginning, middle, and end. And he said, don't be afraid to start the story in the middle and take them to the end. And that's what I did with Pray. You start out with the shot and the murder, and then it goes into the consequences. And sometimes whenever everything goes completely sideways, all you've got left to do is pray.
God, never talked to the man. Never wanted to see those streets of gold. It wasn't part of the plan. Till a bullet cut the night sky, they took me far away. As that boy lay there dying, that's when I learned to pray. I pray for peace, pray for redemption, pray for rain when he don't listen. Pray someday, Lord, to finally set me free. I pray for grace, determination, for my soul, my salvation. When you're doing life, believing dead men lay. All that you got left to do is pray. They don't believe I found the Lord in the corners of a cell, when he's the only one to talk to. You get to know him well. And now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep, 'cause the state of Oklahoma gonna keep me in these chains. Pray for peace, pray for redemption, pray for rain when he don't listen. Pray someday, Lord, to finally set me free. I pray for grace, determination, for my soul, my salvation. When you're doing life, believing dead men lay. All that you got left to do is pray. Pray for redemption, pray for rain when he don't listen. Pray someday, Lord, to finally set me free. I pray for grace, determination, for my soul, my salvation. When you're doing life and leaving dead men lay. All that you got left to do is pray. Left to do is pray. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep, oh yeah. Die before I wait. I pray to God my soul is gonna take.
Sometimes songs start out with words, sometimes they start out with a melody, and this guy right here can write melodies like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and late one night we decided to throw together a few words onto the melody that I had, and we tried to make it sound kind of dark, almost like a Chris Knight song, but we didn't go that dark.
Yeah, it was one of those where we were talking about, breakups we'd had in the past and women that we had done wrong in the past, and how sometimes, that first line kind of came to me, that my addictions keep me warm at night, because there were some dark, deep times in my life where, I've ruined relationships and kind of turned to drinking and other substances. And it was just, that was kind of what kicked the idea of the song off. And, we were able to tie up a lot of heartbreak and things that we've gone through.
motel bed. I hear everything she said. Tried everything I know to make this right, but she ain't coming back. Think we're really through this time. With cigarettes and whiskey, cocaine and wine. Well, I've done everything it takes to get that good girl off my mind. Broke her down, her heart's real-time. Her goodbye ringing in my ear like shots fired, girl. The light off to the west, it starts to fade. Those broken white lines, that's all I'll leave behind. I can't fulfill the promises I made. The recoil of regret, that's all I've got there. With cigarettes and whiskey, cocaine and wine. Well, I've done everything it takes